Yo, what's up guys? Welcome to the station. Corey the Sandman Sandhagen here. Make sure that you guys like and subscribe. Finally, some fights happened. It's been a couple weeks. I know it's only been like, a week or so that you missed, but in MMA, it feels like a long time. So, we're gonna go over a few of the fights. Today, we're gonna go over Figgy versus Font because I'm sure that you guys are really interested in my take about it. To be completely honest with you guys, Figgy is kind of an awkward guy to try to figure out because his mind seems like it works in a scattered way a little bit. I know that there's probably a method to the madness because the dude's an absolute animal, but it's really hard for me to break down. So we're going to talk a lot about the stuff that Font did maybe not that great, and I think that it's going to help you guys as martial artists or just hobbyists or fans or whatever understand the sport a little bit better. So let's get into it. All right, guys, cool. So the first thing that we'll talk about, just because, let's talk about what Figgy did good first, okay? So Figgy is able to, I hope it's okay that I call him Figgy. That feels like a little bit weird, like a little bit too intimate with him, but whatever. Figueiredo, anyways, the dude carves into the floor really well. That's why he's able to get so much power behind what he does. And so what I mean by that, guys, is there's different styles of throwing power. Okay, there's the power where I launch something, it goes through whatever is in its path, and then it comes back to my face, but it's more of a shoving motion. So there's the way of punching with power where I'm transferring the power from my back leg into my front leg and catching myself. Okay, and then there's also using my front leg to throw my power into my back leg and catching myself. And so if I want to throw like a really hard cross, I can push off the floor, stay in place, sit down into this left side, and catch my weight, okay? If I'm going to throw like a hard hook or like a hard like lean back jab or whatever, I catch my weight by throwing my jab here so that I can maintain good position, okay? So there's that type of power. There's also the type of power where I have a little bit of motion here and I carve myself into the floor, boom, use this to drive past and hit someone really hard, and that's more the style of power that you see from Figueiredo. You also see that in like Sean O'Malley and the guys that are a little bit more agile in the sport. They're really capable of catching themselves, boom, throwing a really hard shot. They'll still catch themselves and maintain decent position, but it's not this like kind of like sitting, being underneath yourself. It's more of a carving into the floor to develop power. Okay, so that's really important. There's also like a few other elements to power, like rotation, and then also whether you're gonna like punch through the person or snap a punch off, which makes things a little bit differently. If you snap things off, it makes it so you can come back to position a little bit better. If you shove and throw the punch through with like a really good rotation here, it takes a little bit longer to get back into position, but I could go on and on and on about the power. So Figueiredo, I don't like calling him Figgy, that's weird. I might fight this fool, I'm not calling him Figgy. Figueiredo is the type of dude that carves into the floor, okay? That's how he's able to generate so much power. He'll be here, he'll carve himself into the floor and launch his right hand. He threw a lot of right hands. The one time that he landed the bomb of a hook, he was moving, cut into the floor, cut again, and then threw like a super hard hook. That was like a really impressive, super awesome punch there, but he develops power by carving into the floor, okay? And as much as I hate to do this, let's talk about a lot of the mistakes that Font makes, kind of just in his style, and then, things that I think he could do a little bit better, okay? So obviously the biggest thing is that Figueiredo was able to take Font down the exact same way that I was able to, almost at will, okay? So Elias, can I use you real quick? So the way that Font stands is he's really wide, okay? And that's not a bad thing. You can definitely still stand wide, but certain types of things plug in really well with each other, and certain types of things don't plug in really well with each other. So for example, like if I'm a really wide standing, kind of in like this boxer bladed stance, it doesn't work too well when I try to kick. Kicks work better when my feet are closer. Like I can lift my leg on both of my legs in more of a kickboxing stance and catch myself. When I'm a lot wider, if I lift my leg, I fall over. If I lift my leg, I start to fall over, okay? Kicking is a lot more difficult when you're in this wide stance. So if you want to be a good kicker, standing really wide isn't going to be something that you really want to do, okay? I would also say that if you want to have good takedown defense, standing wide sometimes isn't the best answer unless you're willing to give something when they connect to your hips. So what I mean by that is me and Elias are fighting each other. You be Rob Font. Even a little bit wider. Have bigger hands. Okay, so Font like covers his face like this. So if I'm gonna take Elias down like this, I don't need to do a ton to make him sit and fall this direction. Really all I need to do is block this leg and knock him over like this, and he'll start to fall over, okay? Obviously Font's like a powerful athletic guy, so it's not that easy, but in theory, that's really what I need to do. If Elias is a lot more square in his stance, squarer, more square, this is gonna make it so that if I block this and shove him over this, not as effective, okay? So when Elias gets really wide again, like Rob Font, it's super easy to take these guys down. Like if you're gonna leave that leg way out there and kind of not have the ability to drop your hip back, I'm gonna take you down like every single time. So me and Elias, or if Figgy was fighting, Figueiredo, I gotta stop doing that. Me and Figueiredo are fighting, or I'm Figueiredo, boom, I just go, I connect to him, I tap this leg, and I take him down this direction. Super easy. It's not because Font sucks or anything like that. It's literally just because his stance is set up for that takedown to work incredibly efficiently. Okay, so the other thing that he actually started to adjust to is when this leg is what you need to be protecting, if I go to shoot in on this, Elias needs to get his hip back. He needs to keep me in front of him. So when I go and fit in on Elias's leg and he stops me by bringing this back, I don't get to stay like that. I don't get to block this and knock him over as easy anymore, okay? Because he's very square with me. I can't really lock his leg. And even if I do lock his leg really good, because his hip is so far back and not forward like this, it's a lot harder for me to be able to take Elias down or Rob Font down, okay? Last thing that I was gonna say too, shoot, what was it? What was it? I have no idea. I know I didn't go over anything with you, fuck. There we go. The other thing that I was going to say too. Okay, so if you are going to stand like this, because standing like this is completely cool, but like I said, you have to give something up if you are going to try to stand like this. So when me and Elias are here, I'll be Rob Font, you be Figgy. Okay, if I'm going to have kind of this wider stance where I'm kind of giving him this leg in a sense, right? And he goes to shoot in on my leg and he connects really hard, okay? Where I can't get this hip back away from him. Really the only option that I have if I don't want to be taken down is to start to turn this direction. You know, like Elias is still going to be able to sit me this direction, but the fact that I'm turning my body and making it so that I can be powerful in my base again and have balance in both of my legs matters, okay? Ideally, or like more realistically, what's going to happen is Elias is going to start to drive just a little. I'm going to turn and have to give up my back, okay? So if you are going to stand really wide, which is a completely, totally okay thing to do, when guys connect and they're deep on you, like I don't get to catch this thing early in the chain where I could keep him in front of me, and he shoots and he gets a lot deeper here, this is not good. I have to start thinking, turn my back if I don't want to get taken down, okay? I know from experience that dude Rob Font does not like to give up his back. It seems like it's like a golden rule, to be honest with you, and maybe we'll do a video on this at some point, but to be completely honest with you, getting up is 1,000 times easier if you're willing to get really good and invest enough time in giving up your back, breaking hands, or if you're down, giving up your back, being able to seal off space and build yourself up like a wrestler would from referee's position. You're way better off trying to get up like that. Like, that's modern day MMA, you know? You have to be good enough to obviously keep out hooks and to not let other things happen. But this whole like old idea of never give up your back if you're on bottom is archaic and in my opinion, super inefficient. You're way better off if you can give up your back. I know that I lost a fight against TJ this way, but that was like my own mental errors because I was like, giving up on back and being like, like he's not hurting me. Like giving up your back, being able to cut hands and get yourself away is the easiest way to do it. Rob Font just does not like to do that. So going to be really tough to get up. You know, he got up a couple times against Figgy, but that's because Figgy isn't the best at controlling people on the ground, which I don't really want to get into because, like I said, I might end up fighting this dude. But I hope that you guys got something out of this. Make sure that you guys like and subscribe. We're going to do a couple more videos from this week, too. We got Dariush and Sarukin. Probably said that wrong. Did I say that right?
I have no idea.
Okay. We're going to do Dariush and Sarukin, and then we're also going to do Jalen Turner against Bobby Green, of course. Honestly, the fight with Jalen Turner, I had never watched the guy fight before, and that was the most impressive striking that I've seen in a really long time. So I'm super pumped about that video. Make sure that you guys like, subscribe, check out those videos. Peace, I love you. Bye.